with us this evening. Thank you. Hey, hello, hello. I think you like the video more than my presentation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Belum berapa? You fell down? Okay. How is it now? Okay. It's not broken, no? Oh, okay. Otherwise, it put plaster. This is only a bandage. Okay. Hope you get back soon. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Please ask a lot of questions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
About devotion or anything
Yeah.
else? Anyways. For the lyrics.
One thing I have to clarify, I will come again. So use another computer.
Okay.
So,
I think so.
you all are from Sweden or outside? Sweden. Okay, from Sweden. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, sound is vibrating.
Already we have the audience, we say.
Online.
Online. Yeah.
The thing is, echoing, maybe you bring down. Oh, okay. I'm maybe we should put powder and makeup and lipstick. You make my day.
I call it faculty and
Yeah, please. More the better. More the better. So what time will you reach home? What time will you reach home? Maybe 7 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Then dinner, then no dinner. Oh, go straight. 8:30. So sleep, bed, eat, sleep, come back tomorrow. Hello, sir. No, only around the Swida Cafe. My flight is 7:45, so we have 5 o'clock and yeah. This is more fun meeting you all and sharing life. This is more meaningful and hanging around at Colombo Fort and majestic city. Oh yeah, I've come here this morning 10 to visit. But my first to Nurelia is fantastic. Ah, 2000? I was there. I was head of the financial management school or program or cluster or. Oh, okay, gender, yeah. We went to Pahan and came to Jalan. Oh. Yeah, Kelantan, you gone to Pahang for the Intan region is there in Kemaman. No, that's in Terengganu. There's Pahang, Terengganu, Kelantan. Okay. Yeah, normally they take you around. No point sitting in the classroom. I think it's gender balance and bringing in more women to the workforce, women to the business decision making. Yeah. 2000 hours there. But I was involved in financial management, government bookkeeping. That's not my I don't know how I survived, Then I did my PhD on that also, government budgeting. Now I moved away. You are more a fighter figures. Yeah.
Why don't you come here? I will next to DG.
Oh, okay. You're just saying hello.
You just sending a casual info.
Casual, yeah. Then I'll come when he comes, I'll come.
Anyway, come.
No, it's okay.
He is more comfortable here.
Yeah. Genting is up on the hill.
Yeah.
That's nothing much, it's a very artificial city. Something close to Nurelia, hilly area. People go there only to gamble. And then the families will have entertainment, outside entertainment, it's a theme park. It's only school, that's all. But nothing beats Nurelia.
No.
We have something like Nurelia in Cameron Island, but they deforested the place. So much so it's now hot and it's no more as cold as it used to be. So much of development. So really, trip up to the place, the tea plantations, some of the landscapes, just like Switzerland. Berjaya, yeah. Berjaya. Oh yeah. Berjaya. Oh, okay. Come.
No, not one.
Yeah, right.
सेट करने के लिए बोला
Good evening, everybody. Hey, madam. Yes, sir. It's a pleasure for Slida to be with us to stay from 5 to 7. So this is our consecutive 5th events. So before that, we had 4 events, but those are in the area of transforming the government into digital context. This time, the topic has been slightly changed. So we are moving for the management especially for the strategic management. To introduce our session, what is our session, and to introduce who is our guest lecturer, or to introduce what is the topic, I welcome Professor M. Tiragazari, President of Srila, to open the session and to give you the brief introduction of our the honest guest.
Ayuban, Vanakkam, Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. First of all, let me welcome all of you to this our guest lecture session. Secretaries, Secretary, Ministry of Plantation, and other senior officers, and our chief today's guest speaker, Professor John Shelby. Let me very warmly welcome Professor John for this particular event. Actually, Professor John Xavier came to Sri Lanka to deliver a keynote address, keynote speech of a international HR seminar organized by the Sri Jawaharlal University. So I got to know that, and then I invited him to Srida to deliver this guest speech on transforming the public sector for service excellence through Blue Ocean Strategy, the Malaysian experiences. So let me speak few words to introduce our today's guest speaker, Professor John Xavier. He's a good friend of mine, and we have a link program collaboration with National University of Malaysia. Presently, he is the professor in strategic management of National University of Malaysia. Before joining the National University of Malaysia, he worked in the Putra University. Before that, he's a very renowned, very capable, very popular public servant. Like our SLAS is from the Malaysian Public Administration Civil Service. So he has worked in various organizations, including the institute called Malaysian Institute of Public Administration. It is similar to SRIDA. He worked there as a consultant, and as a trainer he has vast experience. In addition to his all first degree, masters, PhD. So he counts more than 40 years of experience. And he has a sound tacit knowledge which cannot be, transformed directly. So I wanted Professor John Xavier to come and then tell us and share his experiences with our public servants for us to develop our country and understanding how to apply the Blue Ocean Strategy for our public service. So I'm not going to talk at length on this. I have associated him with various forums, and I used to arrange study visits to our master's students to Malaysia, and he used to organize, and he used to take us to several public sector organizations and private sector organizations to see the best practices which they have introduced through Blue Ocean Strategy. So I am sure today that you will be benefited from his knowledge, from his experience. So I feel it's a privilege and an honor to Srila for accepting our invitation and agreeing to deliver this speech. So without wasting much time, now I cordially invite my friend Professor John Xavier to deliver the sessions and educate our public servants. Thank you.
I vote Professor M. Telegasari, the Director General of SLEDA, Secretaries of the Sri Lankan Public Service, senior officers, members of the SLEDA faculty, ladies and gentlemen, very good evening. Thank you for spending your precious 2 hours with us this evening. I hope I will add value to the time that you have spent this evening. It's very precious to be back home with the family, and you have chosen to be here. So the pressure is on me to deliver. Thank you, Professor Tilak, for your very kind words of introduction. I hope I am as great as Professor Tilak has made me out to be, but let's see how the lecture goes. And then you will decide for yourself whether what Professor Tilak is saying is true or not. So today we want to talk on the Malaysian public service excellence journey. And then we will talk about how Malaysia is seeking to transform the public service through a blue ocean strategy. That is, delivering high impact services that give you the best results for the resources that you spend, while not spending more, but spending less. After that short introduction, we will see what is blue ocean strategy and how can we develop blue ocean strategies for your department and for the larger Sri Lankan public service. I will then go on to give you some of the achievements that government departments have made through the implementation of the blue ocean strategy. And then we will talk how the government implemented the blue ocean strategy so that Sri Lanka will have a pattern or a practice upon which you can develop blue ocean strategies in SLEDA and beyond. And then, of course, we will go on to see how will Malaysia's experience help Sri Lanka in promoting public service excellence. So this has been Malaysia's performance management journey. We have, over the years, from 1968 to 2014, and the journey carries on, we have come up with so many reforms. Have they been successful? I think that is not the primary concern of the government. The whole idea of the government is to apply pressure upon the public service to constantly reform, constantly improve public services. So it is not a matter of one reform achieving its target, but it is the amalgam of a combination of multiple reforms trying to promote public service where there is high impact, where there is efficient service delivery, effective service delivery at a very much lower cost. So some reforms are budget oriented, some are programs, some are performance scorecards. We also have ministers having their own performance scorecard. They were very unhappy because they said their performance will only be judged whether they win the next election. But the Prime Minister said, no, it is not a question of you winning your constituency, but it is the whole government performance. We are either in the government, or if we do not perform, we will be in the opposition benches. So that rallied the ministers, and they succumbed to the pressure of the Prime Minister to introduce a minister's performance scorecard. So every year, every month, they have to report to the Prime Minister what is it that they have achieved. And of course, secretaries too have their performance scorecard. And among these multitude of reforms, we have this Blue Ocean Strategy, which is the focus of our discussion today. Please feel free to ask me any questions as we move along, in case you overlook your questions at the end of the session.
Yeah, feel free to raise your hands and ask questions, because Professor John is a good presenter with the interaction.
Right, yeah. Otherwise, I'll go to sleep and then you I program, I just have to press the button and I'm on. And I go to sleep only my lips move. Okay. So the Malaysian Blue Ocean Strategy is about transforming the public service into a dynamic, innovative, and citizen-centric institution. So we don't want it to be a normal bureaucratic organization that just keeps on delivering. So it just keeps on delivering the same services over and over again at a much higher cost. But we want a service that is very innovative, always thinking of new services, alternative ways of delivering the services at a reduced cost. Remember, in Malaysia, we used to rely on oil revenue. 40% of our public revenue came from oil. Now it's 14%. So the government does not have much money. The budget has been slashed. So departments will have to be innovative in their service delivery. They cannot cut services on the pretext that there is no money, but they will have to find inventive, innovative ways to deliver the same level of resources, or even better, more, at a lower cost. And how do they do it? They have used the Blue Ocean Strategy. And I will show you some of the examples as to how departments have used the Blue Ocean Strategy to save a lot of money and at the same time to improve public services. And I think this holds promise for Sri Lanka as well. If Malaysia can do it, Sri Lanka can do it even better. So what is this Blue Ocean? Well, we have two worlds. One is the Red Ocean and one is the Blue Ocean. In the Red Ocean, in the context of the government, we just retain the status quo. Nothing changes. We just do the same thing every year, year on year, with no change at all. That will be a Red Ocean in the public sector. In the private sector, a Red Ocean means the market is defined and there are many competitors, each fighting with one another for a market share. So, and in the process of fighting, when sharks fight in an ocean, Red Ocean, the ocean becomes bloody red. The Blue Ocean is, in the public sector, it's about improving public services at a lower cost. There must be two things. The two things must go together. Improving services and reducing costs. It might be a paradox. How can you improve services without increasing the cost? I mean, if you're going to do better services, you've got to bring in better technology that is going to cost you money. And how can we bring down the cost? Don't worry, help is at hand. Blue Ocean Strategy tells you, will give you the analytics as to how you can produce more, perform better, while at the same time reducing costs. And in the context of the private sector, Blue Ocean means you are sailing into a totally new market where there are no competitors. So if this is a market for you to work, this market is all for you, and you can make plentiful profits if you can reconstruct the market boundaries and go to a new market where you capture new demand, where you capture new customers. And there are no competitors, so you make the best money out of making that Blue Ocean Strategy. That's private sector. But let's not worry about private sector. We will focus today more on how we can create a blue ocean in the bureaucracy today. So let me show you what a blue ocean is in the private sector. So, in the when man landed on the moon in 1969, there was no pocket calculators. So the invention of a pocket calculator was then a blue ocean strategy. Of course, once your business model is in the marketplace, then everybody will copy your business model, and the blue ocean will no longer be blue. 40 years ago, there was no mobile phones. So the invention of a mobile phone was a blue ocean strategy. Internet, there was no internet. In the 1980s, there was no internet. Internet was a blue ocean strategy. So products that are new in the market where there is no competition is a blue ocean strategy, but soon copycats come along and you have to keep on improvising, improving, innovating to keep your ocean blue. So in the context of the public sector in Malaysia, why did we use the blue ocean strategy? Remember, the blue ocean strategy has got two fundamental things. Increase the value and reduce the cost. So in the public sector, we have to increase our public services in terms of its efficiency, in terms of its quality, in terms of its speed, in terms of its affordability, and we have to reduce the cost. And so the blue ocean strategy was developed and implemented to accelerate our achievement of a high income economy. By 2020, we want to be a rich nation. We want to have a per capita income of 15,000 USD, just like Sri Lanka aspires to be a upper middle class economy with 4,000 US dollars by 2016. And it is just not about being wealthy in a physical sense, but it's also about public well-being. We want the citizens to be well served. So, because there is a positive correlation between growth and innovation. So if a public service is innovative and creative, then growth automatically takes place, because the speed and efficiency of the public sector determines the speed and efficiency of the private sector. So when the public sector is efficient, the private sector becomes efficient, and collectively they improve the competitiveness of the nation, more exports, more foreign direct investments, more jobs, more income, and everybody lives happily ever after. So the blue ocean concept in the Malaysian public sector is a holistic approach to public service delivery. It is about reconstructing boundaries, extending the boundaries of existing service delivery. So this might not make sense, but we'll see the examples. It's about sharing resources. Previously, everybody worked in silos. So like SLEDA's budget is SLEDA's budget. SLEDA will not share it with somebody else. Likewise, others will not share it with SLEDA. But in the Malaysian public sector, using the Blue Ocean strategy, there is sharing of resources, combining resources between ministries. There is no silos. There is greater collaboration across the public sector. Services are delivered at a lower cost, and it must be rapidly executable. You must be able to execute it as quickly as possible within 3 or 6 months. There is strategic collaboration. The services are high impact, and it must be sustainable, meaning that the change must be permanent, and others can copy your model in their own workplace. So it's about high impact, it's about low cost, rapid execution, and it must be sustainable. So BOS, the Blue Ocean strategy, requires innovative thinking and collaboration across relevant agencies. Before the implementation of Blue Ocean strategy, no ministry would want to collaborate with another ministry in solving crime, for example. There are so many ministries and departments trying to eradicate poverty in Malaysia. They've got as many as 42 ministries and departments that are involved in eradicating poverty. But before Blue Ocean strategy, nobody was talking to one another. They had their own programs, they did their own programs, but with Blue Ocean strategy, they're coming together to pool in their resources so that they can achieve more. So the conventional thinking is, if a government department is asked to do something extra, they will ask for additional budget. But in the Blue Ocean strategy, there is no additional budget for doing extra. You will have to be innovative to find that additional resources or reduce your cost. And you reduce your cost by pooling your resources, by collaborating, so that the synergy gives you a greater impact in service delivery. And we will see how this collaboration takes place in the case of the police and the armed forces. The police and the military have two different traditional functions. The military guards the border. The police take care of the security within the country, and they both don't talk to one another. The army says our duty is to train and fight. If there's no war, we go and sleep and get ready. Next day we train, we get ready for a war. The policeman has to chase criminals every day. He never takes a holiday. But through the Blue Ocean strategy, both and these two agencies, the police and the army, they have two different ways of saluting. The police salute differently, the army salute differently. They're totally different culture, but they came together to reduce crime, and we'll see how they did it. So it's high impact, low cost, rapid execution, breaking down of the mental blockages of sharing your resources, sharing your expertise with other ministries and departments, and it is serving the undeserved. So how do you create a Blue Ocean strategy? Well, it is about bringing, as you said, it's about bringing down the cost, increasing the impact of your services by asking, and so you reduce the cost of the government and you increase the value to society. So in your service delivery, you increase that value to the public while bringing down the cost of delivering that particular service. And how do you do it? You eliminate, you reduce, you improve, and you create. You will ask these 4 questions. First question that you will ask in trying to come up with a Blue Ocean strategy is, what factors or what activities in the government that I should eliminate, which the government has taken for granted? You're so used to having procedures for years and years and years, and nobody questions why the procedures still exist when things have moved, when society has changed, and we still have these kind of archaic procedures. So we need to ask, what activities, what rules, what procedures can be eliminated that the government departments or the Ministry of Finance have taken for granted and that has low value to citizens. So when citizens come for service, we say, sorry, you got to wait 5 months, 6 months. They want to change land title. Sorry, the law says you got to wait 7 months, 8 months. and for no reason, we do not know why the law says, and they ask, why should I wait for 7 months? You say, that's what the law says. So first question to reduce cost is see what activities in my department that I can reduce to create value for my citizens. Second, what factors or what activities should be reduced well below the government standard? Again, we have been doing so many things according to government standard. How can I now reduce it so that I can reduce costs? Third question, what activities can I raise well beyond the government standard? The government standard says I must treat my patients within 2 hours. That's the citizen's charter. But can we not raise that standard? Can we not say we want to reduce the waiting time to 30 minutes or 1 hour? So how can we reduce the waiting time? How can we raise client satisfaction? How can we, in the sense that we give them better service because they have to wait that much lesser in time? And what activities can I create that the government has never offered? So what can we offer? What new service can we offer that the government or the department has never thought about? So for example, in your case, Slida, you are thinking of having a digital economy platform, a digital economy center. You're thinking of research and development to come up with new ideas in civil service. And that is creating activities that has never been offered by Slida before. Example, the case of Blue Ocean Leadership, applying this 4 ERRC framework, eliminate, reduce, raise, and create. If you talk about senior civil service leaders, then you will ask, what can I eliminate that we have taken things for granted? Number one, eliminate tolerating time-consuming bureaucratic processes. If the bureaucratic process is too long, seek to eliminate it, shorten the process, cut the red tape. And we have in Malaysia a committee that's sole purpose is to tear down bureaucracy. So much so, today we can issue passports in 1 hour. We can transfer property in 1 day. We can register property in 1 day. So that is the amount of time that the government spends in eliminating red tape. Then you can eliminate micromanaging your staff on operational matters that can be delegated to your subordinates. You will empower them at no cost. You empower them, you make them motivated, and they will work harder, they will produce more, and it will not cost any much more than before. But can be reduced. Well, you can reduce attending functions and meetings that are not directly related to core activities. But please don't leave. Stay on for another 1 hour. So eliminate attending functions that have no use. So that will of course increase the value, because you can spend that time in delivering value to your citizens, to your clients, and reduce costs. Deliberating too long before making decisions. Some leaders, some managers in the public sector never like to make decisions. They hold on, sit on the fence, and that stuffs up the whole bureaucratic machinery in the department, so much so you're not creating value to your citizens. What can be raised? Well, you can raise cross-ministerial collaborations. Slida can cooperate with the National Library in pooling their reference materials together, and bingo, you have a greater pool of reference material to work on in researching to develop your services, better training, and better research for the development of public service delivery in Sri Lanka. Or you can reallocate underutilized resources to high impact initiatives. This is what the Blue Ocean Strategy asks you to do. Move money from places where, from programs that don't need that much money to programs that really need the money. And if you can do that environment, even better. What do you create? Create a culture of high performance and accountability. So by asking these four fundamental questions, you will be able to arrive at a blue ocean strategy. So in this case, this is a blue ocean leadership for the public sector. So like we said, in blue ocean strategy, resource management, we move money from programs that don't need money now to programs that need money urgently. And later on, when that program doesn't need money, it will return the money to the program from which it had borrowed. And of course, ministries and departments can exchange money. They can use a sub-journal and send money to other ministries on the understanding that in the coming years, when the ministry that has given the money needs money, you guys will return it. So through that process, you get a greater value in resource management than otherwise. But now, previously in the Malaysian public sector, this is unthinkable. Which Ministry of Plantation, for example, will never give its budget to Ministry of Environment. But this takes place now, where if the Ministry of Environment is hard pressed for money, it can borrow from Ministry of Plantations in the expectation that in the coming years, when the Ministry of Plantation needs money, the Ministry of Environment will return the borrowed money. So, so far we have over 80 agencies implementing the Blue Ocean Strategy. We have about 770 agencies. This was implemented in 2009. 80 agencies have developed Blue Ocean strategies. The cost has been so far USD 100 million. There's been over 90 projects. You can see them here. We will look at a few projects to see how this has come about. So let's look at some of the Malaysian Blue Ocean achievements. See, I'm trying to give you another video.
Malaysia is successfully moving towards achieving its goal of becoming an advanced nation by 2020. However, the country's vision goes beyond this. It aspires to be a truly advanced country where people enjoy high income along with a greater level of public well-being. To achieve this, the Malaysian government is applying the Blue Ocean Strategy principles of high impact, low cost and rapid execution to national development through National Blue Ocean Strategy, or NBOS. NBOS is also guiding the 11th Malaysia Plan, the National Development Plan for the final stretch of the country's journey to advanced nation status. NBOS focuses on rapidly delivering high impact on both the capital and people economies at low cost to the government. NBOS initiatives are formulated and executed through the NBOS Summit, a unique and dynamic national strategy platform which brings together ministries, agencies, all levels of government and the private sector on a voluntary basis to develop initiatives that are high impact, low cost and rapidly executed. To date, more than 90 NBOS initiatives have been successfully implemented to address a wide range of economic and social issues. For example, a national network of transformation centres comprising rural transformation centres, RTCs, urban transformation centres, UTCs, and mobile community transformation centres, mobile CTCs, among others, has been created to strengthen the linkages between rural and urban areas. National safety and security is being enhanced through Blue Ocean Policing, which has developed a total security system that cuts across police, military, other security forces, NGOs and civilians to keep Malaysia safe. Government services have been made much easier to access through the One Malaysia One call centre, where multiple ministries and agencies can be reached at one easy-to-remember number. Young people are being engaged in nation building through One Malaysia for Youth, while women are being encouraged to participate more actively in the economy and society. Creativity and innovation has been a key focus of NBOS. The 1 Million Blue Ocean Entrepreneurs Initiative is helping unleash the creative potential of Malaysians nationwide through a Blue Ocean Strategy online training program and the National Blue Ocean Strategy competition. In addition, the One Malaysia Entrepreneurs, or OneNet program, and the Malaysia Global Innovation and Creativity Centre, or MAGIC, are creating a vibrant ecosystem to support entrepreneurs to successfully launch and grow their businesses. These and many other creative and innovative initiatives are being formulated and executed through NBOS. By simultaneously pursuing high income and a greater level of public well-being through creativity and innovation, National Blue Ocean Strategy is making the country's vision a reality.
Sorry, the video didn't come out very well. But as you saw, we have come up with new programs based on two central focus areas: high impact, lower cost. Let us look at some of the progress made in the Ministry of Health in delivering public health services. They have come up with four innovative initiatives. One is the pharmacy value-added services, where they distribute medicine by post or by driving through the pharmacy. Then they have come out with cataract surgery centers, or one center for the time being, in collaboration with the private sector and with the Federal Territories Religious Council, in using centers that have been developed by the private sector to deliver cataract surgeries. Then we have this low-risk birth center in Putrajaya Hospital and the cluster hospital concept. So far, any questions, sir? Yes, sir.
So, sir, what I want to know that Ocen Stratergy is to develop new markets or to find out new solutions.
New solutions. New solutions. The whole idea of this Blue Ocean Strategy in the public sector is to provide better services, so that we do not turn away, in the case of the public health service, we do not want to turn away patients because the hospital is overflowing, there are no more beds in the wards, and we want to make sure that when delivering such kind of services, we do not incur additional costs.
You mean that to find out new strategies to improve the existing services?
Exactly. Coming up with new strategies to improve existing service delivery without incurring additional costs. That is the key. Improving services with preferably lower cost. And let us see how the Ministry of Health did this in the case of pharmacy, dispensing medicine. In public hospitals, prior to the implementation of Blue Ocean Strategy, patients, after seeing the doctor, will get a prescription, then they go to the pharmacy and they'll have to wait 1 hour, 2 hours to get the medicine that the doctor has prescribed. That was the paradigm before the implementation of the Blue Ocean Strategy. So long waiting queue. But the Ministry of Health then listened to the people, tell us how we can improve this. And they had 10 open forums with the citizens, with the patients who had come to the hospital, asking them, please tell us how we can make your life less miserable. You have already waited long enough for the doctor, now we will wait even longer for the medicine. So, and the people said, oh, it's long waiting time, insufficient staff, the waiting area is crowded, the problems with accessibility, they have to spend more money, there's no parking, and they can't possibly go to the private sector because healthcare cost is 10 times, 20 times, 30 times more than the public sector hospitals. So the hospital thought long and hard, and they were asking whether this was the right way to improve services. They give you healthcare, and they give you healthcare. Healthcare is declining, but cost is increasing. So is this the type of service that we want to give our patients who come to the clinic? No. So congestion was great, and there were underutilized smaller district hospitals, long waiting time for outpatient services, higher workload, limited financial human resources, untapped resources in other sectors. So these were the problems that the Ministry of Health faced. So particularly in the context of the pharmacies, what did the Ministry of Health do? Well, the Ministry of Health in 2015 receive 51 million prescriptions from their doctors. 30 to 40% of these prescriptions are a repeat prescription. People who have diabetes, chronic illnesses, they need the medicine every 2 months, 3 months, and the doctors would not want to prescribe more because patients may forget to take their medicine, or they might misplace the medicine, or they might throw away the medicine. So it's only given once a month or twice a month, and so once a month or 2 months once. So which means that the patient has to come back to the hospital, wait long to get his further supply of medicine for the subsequent 1 to 2 months. So to help improve public services, so given this 1 month supply policy of medicine, there was a long waiting time in the pharmacy. Patients will have to go through the traffic jam to come to the hospital, transportation costs, no parking area, time constraint, elderly and the disabled people can't afford coming to the hospital every month just to collect the medicine. So what did they do? They issued medicine by post. So you come and see the doctor now once in six months or once a year, and then you take your medicine, you register your name, your address to the pharmacy, and they will send you the medicine every month till the next appointment. Is this on in Sri Lanka as well? By post. So this is high impact services. You are now telling your patients, hey guys, don't come back, don't worry, we will send it to you by post. So we use the national courier service and we send them by post. Is this not high impact service delivery? Is it not improving services? And what cost? No cost. So they don't come, and you don't have to provide that many chairs. There's no overcrowding. The staff are happy because there's no crowd. Once they see crowd, they feel stressed and they can't do work. They get angry. They start scolding. All these things happen. Now everything is peaceful. There's calm and peace in the waiting area in the pharmacies. And now, so if you don't want to apply through post, you can even drive through the pharmacy. So they have it's just like you drive through McDonald's. I know they have drive-through. Yes, just like you drive through McDonald's, you have your prescription, you drive through, you show it to the pharmacist at the stall counter, and he will give you the medicine, and you drive off. So that is a Blue Ocean strategy. So what did they create? They created a new service by using the national courier, by using a concept that has been developed by the private sector in terms of drive-through service, and they have now reduced cost. And how much does it cost the patient? It only costs them $1.25 US. So now 148 Ministry of Health facilities offer these services. So of course, patients benefit, they don't have to wait, reduce costs, no need to travel, no need to look for parking, they get save petrol, they save coal, and they are happy. And the Ministry of Health is also happy because there's lesser congestion in the waiting area. The frontline staff are that much happier, and everything is conducive to work in the hospital. Blue Ocean strategy. High impact service at a lower cost. High value to the citizens, high value to the Ministry of Health, and at a low cost. It doesn't cost the ministry anything. Of course, it costs the patient $1 US, but that is nothing compared to the savings he makes in time and effort. And of course, waiting time now has gone down by 30 minutes. 97% of prescriptions are now given within 30 minutes because there's now no congestion. Client satisfaction rate, 98%. 51 said very satisfied. And 98% agreed that postal delivery has helped them save time. And 94% said they will recommend this service to the other friends. So second case study, low-risk birth center at Putrajaya Hospital in partnership with the Federal Territories Religious Council. This is the religious council, the Islamic Religious Council in Putrajaya Hospital. It's a referral center, it's a specialist hospital, and most of the people around that area come to the hospital to deliver their babies. And the hospital is always congested, so much so sometimes before they can even register the the mother is already delivered on the trolley. And it's always overcrowding. They got to put the trolleys along the corridors, and sometimes they got to refuse the patient. Sorry, we don't have beds. You have to go to an outlying hospital, and that's far away. The next hospital is about 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers, and anything can happen to a mother that is ready to give birth. So what the Ministry of Health did was, they, in conjunction with the Religious Territory Council, the Federal Territory Religious Council, they developed the community hall. You see this community hall? This is the community hall. These are all the Putrajaya flats where civil servants live. Putrajaya is a bureaucratic capital. This is the seat of the capital. Almost all the ministries and departments are in Putrajaya. And all the civil servants mostly live in this flat. And they have a community hall. And this community hall has now been converted. So in all these blocks of flats, this community hall has been now turned over as a birthing center. So when the patient comes to the Putrajaya hospital, if it is not a non-risk case, then they will be sent back to their community hall to deliver their babies. So what does it do? It reduces congestion in Putrajaya hospital. So what is the benefit? So this is how the community center looks like. Mother on a wheelchair, mothers admitted labor rooms should only have one occupant, but they have so many. Additional couch next to mother is nursing a child and grand couch. This was the situation before they introduced this community hall concept. And here we have a mother's place along the corridor outside the labor room because there's no place in the hospital. And here, congestion of the clinic. 2 patients, husband, 2 doctors, 1 officer, 1 to 2 nurses. Only this for the whole delivery center. So it was congested. So what they did was to turn this community hall into a birthing center. So now this is how the center is. Introduced in 2012 by the Prime Minister in partnership with the Federal Territory Islamic Religious Council. So low risk centers are sent to these community halls where mothers can deliver their babies in full security, full comfort, closer to their community, closer to their relations, and with, of course, with the due care. And so what is the benefit? It benefits the low income group. It is close to the home environment. It reduces congestion at the hospital Putrajaya. So you don't have to worry to look for a parking lot, because in the process of looking for the parking lot, your wife might already have delivered. And of course, priorities for high-risk cases are still managed in the main hospital. So Putrajaya Hospital now focuses on the high-risk areas, the low-risk births are pushed to the community hall, which has been now converted to a birthing center. Is this not improving public services? And at cheaper cost, because this center is hosted by the Federal Territories Religious Council. So a high impact service, lower cost. So minimum cost, maximum impact, and it has reduced 20% of low risk cases from the parent hospital. It gives way to high risk cases. Only high risk cases are managed by the Putrajaya hospital, and it reduces transfer, meaning Putrajaya hospital forcing to ask patients to go away. So that has reduced. Previously, 1,552 cases had been sent away to other hospitals. Now that's reduced. So again, a blue ocean strategy, improving public services at a lower cost in collaboration with the private sector or NGO, non-government organizations. Case study 3, Cataract Surgery Center. Again, with the Federal Territory Religious Council, Salaya Hospital developed a cataract surgery center. So the Federal Territory Religious Council came up with a building next to the hospital, and all the cataract surgeries, non-risk especially, are done at this center and not at the hospital. Again, high impact service at a lower cost. Why is high impact? Because patients don't have to now any longer have to wait. So they don't have to wait. It's a one-stop center. It reduces congestion. There's a good cooperation within specialists of Selangor and Putrajaya. They're close to the home. There's attention to any special cases. Optimal benefit to lower social income class patients because cheaper costs, shorter waiting time, and they're guaranteed efficient and safe cataract surgery, even though it is done outside the hospital. So high impact service at a lower cost is a Blue Ocean solution. And how do they do it? They ask this four fundamental questions. What can I raise? What can I create? What can I reduce? Below the government, what the government has taken for granted. So what did they reduce? They said, traditionally, if you want to do a surgery, it must be in a hospital. Traditionally, if you want to deliver a baby, it must be in the hospital. Now they said, no, you can do it in a community center. So, so reduce waiting time, cataract surgery now from 4 to 6 months, they only have to wait for 1 or 2 weeks, and it is all done with specialists. Case number 4. Previously, hospitals, we have 2 types of hospitals, specialist hospitals and non-specialist hospitals. And specialist hospitals are always crowded. Non-specialist hospitals in the districts and outlying regions in the rural areas, they are underutilized. So what the Ministry of Health did was they transformed their service delivery by clustering hospitals together. So they took the specialist hospital and the surrounding non-specialist hospitals and made it into a cluster. And they shared the beds, they shared the specialists, and together they served the public. And so what happened? They decongested specialist hospitals, they improved care at non-specialist hospital because now the non-specialist hospital also is part of the, it's a constellation around the main specialist hospital. So cost went down, better service, better distribution of resources across the various hospitals because of this cluster concept. And so we've got cluster concepts now in Penang, Perak, Negeri Sembilan, Melaka, and these are the 3 hospitals that are involved. So they're all considered together. The specialists are shared, the beds are shared, resources are shared for all the patients. So it eases the congestion in the specialist hospital, and it better utilizes the other district hospitals, the other non-specialist hospitals that are surrounding the main hospital. So that is the Ministry of Health, providing better solutions to patient care at a lower cost. Better solution, better value, because less time and effort on the part of the patients without compromising on service. Then we have a number of other initiatives. We saw in the video about the UTC, RTC, 1MOCC, collaboration between armed forces and the police. Let's very quickly go through here. Through the Blue Ocean Strategy, the government developed one counter that provides multiple services. So previously, if you wanted one service, you go to that department. If you want another service, you go to the other department. Now, all these services are now housed in one room. So you go to one counter and you get your services, including applying for your identity card, your birth, marriage, and divorce certificate, hopefully not divorce certificate, passports, without going through. So you don't have to go to the registration department, you don't have to go to the postal department, you don't have to go to the telecoms department, you don't have to go to the National Electricity Board, you don't have to go to the immigration. All of this is under one counter, one service. High impact service delivery at a lower cost. What does it take? It doesn't take much. Bring them all into one counter, they are all on telephone contact, and they can get it all done. Urban Transformation Center, the same concept of one serve, one counter, many services. What they did was in urban transformation centers, they took unused government buildings, converted them into urban transformation centers where all the public service offering departments, immigration, postal, health, customs, road transport, police, utilities, all in that one group. So you visit the center, you can get all this myriad of services under that one group. High impact service delivery, a blue ocean solution. And same thing with rural transformation centers as well. As we talked about collaboration with the police force, previously they never talked to one another. Crime was a problem. Everybody was afraid to leave their house and to go into the streets because they'll get snatched, their purses will get snatched, their wallets will get pickpocketed. So, and when you go home, you have iron bars in all your windows. So, in fact, you're not going home, you're actually going to a prison because they were scared of crime. And the police had too much in their hands. They can't possibly do. What can I do? If a guy pickpockets you, sorry, we are more interested in catching the murderers and the big armed robbers, etc., etc. So, Blue Ocean Solution, collaboration with the army. So they joined forces to reduce the crime rate. And what did they do? They shared training facilities. Previously, sorry, this is my Ministry of Defense, this is my training facility. You police, you go to your own training facility. But the police had to train their officers quickly because crime was a problem and the government wanted to arrest crime. So they could not possibly build any training centers. So they approached the Ministry of Defense. The Ministry of Defense said, welcome, use our defense training centers. So now policemen are trained in the defense training colleges. They share intelligence together. They have joint patrols. The army now, for the first time, is patrolling with the police on the streets to give a sense of security to the citizens. And of course, the border patrol. Previously, the border was patrolled by the police. The army said, don't worry, since we are making sure that there are no enemies coming in, we will patrol the borders for you. You can move your policemen to the streets to capture catch the thieves. And of course, the police force now uses trained military personnel who are retired into the armed forces because they are already trained, they know how to use firearms, and they go. Because of this collaboration, there has been high value, crime rate has come down, people feel a bit more secure for their safety, and at what cost? No cost. All it was to share the resources. All the defense had to do was open up its training camps. Otherwise, what do they do? Nothing, because there's no war. They train 3-4 hours a day, and the rest of the time the army camp is empty. And because they shared, it was a blue ocean solution. High impact, low cost. Right? And then we have this one Malaysia, one call center. No questions? Oh, you're waiting, let this sort of finish so I can go back home.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
because
Yeah, no, let them sleep.
yes, what's the difference between re-engineering and blue ocean strategy?
Re-engineering is, of course, you are trying to make the process better. You're trying to make trying to cut your bureaucratic red tape, and the process you are trying to create value. But the cost remains. It still comes with a cost, because when you are re-engineering, you are trying to use technology instead of manual processes, for example. You're trying to bring in digital, you're trying to bring electronic government as part of your business re-engineering, and that costs money. So there you are creating value, no doubt, but that value comes at an additional cost. It's just like Apple coming up with Apple 6, Apple 7, Apple 5, Apple 4, and every time they come up with an Apple, no, sorry, they don't come with an Apple, they come with the iPhone. iPhone 4, iPhone 3, iPhone 4, iPhone 5, iPhone 5C, 5.6, iPhone 7. So and every version is a very differentiated product. It has got good value. The camera lens has got higher pixel from 8 to 12. It has got better features. Now I hear iPhone 7. If you just put the name card on top of the phone, it scans all the details and it arranges in your iPhone. So you don't have to copy, you don't have to type your telephone number, or you get your friend to call the number and then you capture the number. So every time they come up with a product that gives you better value. But the cost doesn't go up. The cost doesn't go down, it goes up. So in creating value, you also cause the cost to go up. That is not value innovation. Value innovation is you create value, but the cost must, relatively speaking, go down. So in business process re-engineering, yes, you are trying to move from manual to digital. You are trying to make your processes and your systems that much more efficient, but there's always some cost to it. If there is no cost, then of course it qualifies to be a blue ocean solution. And I will show you how Srida has come up with a blue ocean solution in the course of doing something innovative. But let me boast a little bit longer about Malaysia. So previously, if you want to call a department, you got to call the department number. If you want to call SLIDA, you got to get the SLIDA number, and then invariably, it doesn't happen in SLIDA, but it happens in Malaysia. Nobody will reply. The phone will ring, nobody will. That is the Malaysian public service. But what now Malaysia has done, MAMPU, the Malaysian Administrative Modernization and Planning Unit, in conjunction with the other ministries, they have come up with one call center, only one number. You call that one number, you have access to 25 other ministries. And under the 25 ministries, you've got the other 700 agencies. That is a blue ocean solution because faster services, strengthening the public service delivery, democratizing public services with lesser cost. So instead of calling one number per department, you call one number and you have access to a host of all other departments. So, and it's for 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And you can use a telephone call, you can use Facebook, you can use Twitter, you can use SMS, you can phone to ask, to require, to appreciate, to suggest, to complain, or dietary assistance, or anything that you normally will call a government department. One number across the 25 ministries. Is that not a blue ocean solution? High impact, low cost. Cost points, what is the cost? Anyway, the counter services are all ready every time. So it's a matter of linking them up, hooking them up to one call center, and bingo, you have access. The citizen has access to all the agencies that are participating, 25 ministries. So previously, without one MOCC, you're wondering which agency should I contact? Now I have a problem. I want to get a scholarship for my son. Whom do I call? Do I call the Ministry of Finance, or do I call the Public Service Department? Do I call the Public Service Commission? Which one do I call? Now, you don't have to worry. Just call that number. They will link you up to the relevant department. And how does it work? So you use any of these technologies or vehicles or media, and then you call the first customer relations officer, takes up your call, and then he assesses what is it your inquiry is all about, and then he sends it to the SME. SME is subject matter expert, level 2. So they will send it to the relevant ministry. And you've got a whole host of ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Human Resource. This is the Public Service Department. This is the Registrar of Births and Deaths. This is the Ministry of Health. And then they will then be able to answer your inquiry. If they still can't, then it goes to subject matter expert level 3. Then it goes to the agency that is actually involved in that particular service that you are asking. All linked over the telephone. And they will do, of course, the best that they can. I mean, if you ask for a passport over the phone, they won't give you. You still have to go back and register your thumbprint and all that. But they will tell you exactly what you should do. And now we can apply passports over the internet. You fill the forms, everything, and the database is integrated. You don't have to come with your birth certificate or your death certificate. No, you do not get. You don't have to come with your birth certificate or your mother's certificate or your citizenship certificate, because all that is already in the registration department. And all these departments are booked online, and so you just have to fill the form. It's cross-checked across the various ministries, and then they tell you, come at this date, and you come with your thumbprint, and we will give you the passport in 1 hour. Maximum impact for the citizen at relatively lower cost. And of course, this is what, so they have had close to 1 million transactions over the past, over the past nine months this year, 900,000 transactions, most of them through the telephone, SMS, and Facebook, 0.3%. For the past 4 years, we've had 5 million transactions, customer satisfaction, 91%. So this is doing well. Blue Ocean solution, high impact, low cost. High impact, low cost. What must I create? What must I reduce? What must I raise above the government standard? What must I eliminate that is of no use or full value to the citizen? Then, of course, they use Facebook. You can register your complaints, register your suggestions, mobile app. So the whole thing is about seamless government service. One phone call, and you have the whole public service at your disposal. Of course, it increases the ease of doing business. Citizens can self-serve whatever they want, and of course, this is the total cost for the urban transformation center, 100 million. Existing call center, 350,000. Rental office for call center, 450,000. So the urban transformation center has saved how much? 350, 450, 100,000. Urban transformation center is where you put all the accountants under one building. And savings from the National Blue Ocean Strategy. By repositioning police officers from dash duty to street patrol, we have saved 1.3 billion ringgit. That's about 400,000 US dollars. We have saved by putting all the services in one center. We saved 100 million. That's about 300 million rupees. 3 billion rupees. It's 31 ringgit is 30 rupees. My arithmetic is not so good. And then you have community rehabilitation program. You have basic infrastructure using military resources. So they have saved so much. Again, high impact, lower costs. So then how did we now implement? How did we implement this National Blue Ocean Strategy? I mean, this doesn't come just like that. It has to be coordinated at a central level. Someone must drive the system. So in here, it is the Prime Minister himself. Prime Minister meaning the equivalent to your president. It's not the Prime Minister that you have in your system, but his powers are akin to that of your president. So he, as a Prime Minister, he has been driving the reform. And of course, in Blue Ocean Strategy, you must have, one of the tests of a Blue Ocean Strategy is you must be focused. So in Blue Ocean, in all this service delivery, they have already been focused about creating value for citizens and lowering costs. Two things: creating value, lowering costs. Creating value, lowering costs. And there must be a divergence between your existing service provision with your new service provision. So if you take the birthing center, it's a complete divergence from delivering babies in the hospital to delivering babies in your own community hall. And number three, it's a compelling tagline. If I were to say finger licking good, what comes to your mind? Finger licking good, Kentucky Fried Chicken. If I were to say I'm loving it, what comes to your mind? If I say inspiring leaders, what comes to your mind? That is the tagline for SLEADA, inspiring leaders, or reimagining leadership for the 21st century. Nobody knows. So to be an effective Blue Ocean Strategy, the tagline must encapsulate your strategy, and it must be so compelling people automatically know that this is Srida, reimagining leadership in the 21st century. So likewise, we came up with the slogan, the Prime Minister came out with the slogan, One Malaysia, One Nation, People First, Performance Now. So every civil servant will have to memorize performance now, people first, performance now. Put people first, performance now, not tomorrow, not next month, not next year, now. So he came up with a compelling slogan. He directed the whole strategy. In fact, he called King Chan and Lenny Mabon, the authors of the Ocen Stratergy book, to be the government consultant. And of course, they made some money as well. He could have called Professor Dylan, but somehow or other he was out of our radar. And in 2009, we didn't really know him. Now, of course, he's very famous, but we look for something when you were And of course, every initiative must have a vision to answer to. It must be driven by a vision. And our vision is to become a developed nation by 2020 and to enhance citizen well-being. That's our vision. We just don't want to be rich, but we also want to make sure that people's well-being is even richer. So vision, PM's directive, and of course they came up with a steering committee, the National Blue Ocean Summit, which was established in 2009, and it steers and directs the formulation and implementation of US initiatives in collaboration with the private sector and civil society, with the public, with the NGOs, with businesses. Together, they come up with this Blue Ocean solution. So when there might have been a cost, it's borne by civil society or it is borne by the private sector, not the government, because government has got no more money. But last year, 300 million times 30, 900 million, 300 million times 30, 9 billion. 9 billion rupees was slashed from the Ministry of Health budget. And that is why they were to get mothers to deliver babies in the community hall, have cataract surgeries in buildings, outside hospitals, and have postal delivery of your medicine, drive-through, etc., etc. And of course, this NDOS summit sets clear expectations, clear guidelines as to what ministries should do. Every year there is a contest across ministries, and an award is given as to who has come up with the best Blue Ocean strategy solution. It must be readily executable, it must be high impact, it must lower. See how much savings can you make from the implementation of the Blue Ocean strategy. And of course, you must have collaboration across ministries, provinces, private sector, civil society. They all come together through laboratories. We bring them up and put them in a room, we lock them, we throw away the key, and tell them, you come up with a Blue Ocean strategy, otherwise you're not going home. Laboratories, figuratively speaking. So they have 6 weeks to work and deliberate, and they have a telephone, and they can call any ministry and ask for any data, any information in the pursuit of a Blue Ocean solution. And of course, the Prime Minister chairs the steering committee with the key ministers and public officers at least 3 times a year to troubleshoot implementation challenges. So you must have a product champion. Any marketing, any product, you must have. If you want to champion a reform, you must have in the public sector. Then it must be at the highest place, the president himself, and he must. Otherwise, if you leave it to the bureaucracy, yes, they will do, but they will take their own sweet time, and then it won't be a Blue Ocean solution. Because why hurry? Nothing to hurry. But here you have the Prime Minister hollowing down their night, breathing down their night, and they have to move. And the ministers will have to move. The ministers with the civil servants, and the civil servants don't have anybody else to whip. They have to whip themselves and produce a value in service delivery. And of course, we said there's an annual conference, so each ministry and department will come and showcase their Blue Ocean strategy for a particular year in the hope that they will achieve the Prime Minister's award. And of course, So the steering committee, cabinet takes the leadership, civil service leadership, it's across federal government, provinces and local government. Everybody works together to create blue ocean solutions for the betterment and well-being of society. So it's seamless and close collaboration, high impact, low cost, and rapid execution. So it must be executed rapidly. No point having a blue ocean strategy that takes 5 years, 6 years to implement. No, we want big, fast results now. Now, SLEDA has come up with a blue ocean strategy. I was talking to Professor Tilak, and yes, that is a very clear blue ocean strategy. SLEDA came up with this virtual learning center where online training can be accessed by anyone who has an internet connection. So, but to set up, to develop that, SLEDA had to develop a bridge. I don't know what's the technical term, it's a technical term of art. They had come up with a bridge, and that cost 1.3 million rupees. So without that bridge, that technology, you can't have virtual learning. So what did they do? They eliminated the need for the bridge. So let us re-engineer the IT system and see whether we can eliminate the need for a bridge. Then they use their in-house IT skills, basically using Manoj, prime mover, and of course with Professor Tilak's son, who himself is an IT expert. And together, they developed a system in-house, software, and then we have a blue ocean solution of virtual learning in SLEDA that only has cost 230,000 rupees.
Nearly 13.
30 million more. Yeah, it's even greater blue ocean.
To get a bridge and then go for the multi-party. Using their brain.
So they improve the IT skills.
368,000 for the cost spending.
The other numbers are alive. I think this number is, so don't think I'm laughing on. Yeah, numbers don't matter, but look at the immense savings of using your in-house expertise, improvising, improving your expertise. So what I do to create blue ocean? Eliminate those processes that serve no one any use. Reduce any activity that we have taken for granted, which has very low value to citizens. Improve or raise the level of quality and skills and knowledge and expertise above that which has existed as a status quo, and create new strategies, new initiatives, new programs that will enhance the value to society and at the same time bring down the cost. So here we have a perfect example of a blue ocean solution in the Sri Lankan public service. If only every department did this, combine how much money you can save. And please invite me as a consultant. I don't normally charge much. It's just blowing, like what Madam said, sometimes you got to blow your own trumpet, because nobody else is going to blow your trumpet for you. So this is just a side advertisement. So this is a classic case of a blue ocean solution. And I think if you have a steering committee with your president in charge, and then you have a contest, so and this solution can go in for the first conference to see which blue ocean strategy has got the best value and the lowest cost saving, and bingo. And every ministry will be motivated to come up with the blue ocean solution. Of course, what we said is the essence of blue ocean strategy development. There's much more to it, but this basically, in essence, is about eliminating activities that don't matter, reducing things that we have taken for granted. We can't completely eliminate rules and regulations, but we can reduce the layers of bureaucracy. We can reduce the red tape. We can improve services by enhancing expertise, and we can create new services. together, this will give you a blue ocean solution. So we have the National Blue Ocean Strategy International Week. We have in the international conference, we have run and ride, we have open day, we have learning excursion. Recently we had Halpam meeting, and all this is to generate interest and exposure and awareness to all departments who come for this conference on the need to come up with a blue ocean strategy. Those days where you ask for additional money for additional activity are over. You have to find money for yourself. And the minister is under pressure to impress the Prime Minister, and so he applies pressure on the public service. The public service is under pressure to give the same level of service, if not more and better, at the vastly slashed budget. And of course, we have the National Blue Ocean Conference Day, where we have booths where they display the initiatives that they have come out for that particular year. And of course, there is an award at the end of it. International Week, we've seen this. Then we meet citizens. Remember, Minister of Health came up with these innovations by talking to the patients. And they themselves came. They don't give you exactly how it should be done, but they give you an idea. So they'll give an idea. Why do you want us to come to the hospital every month to collect our medicine? Can't we just sit at home and you deliver to us? And they go, why don't we use the National Courier Service and you pay $1 every month for your supplies? So they trigger ideas for you, but only when you talk to your stakeholders, you will get ideas. Of course, so UTC, this Blue Ocean initiatives have attracted many international delegates who would like to know more about Blue Ocean strategy initiatives, about these urban transformation centers, where up to 20 services are all under one roof. You don't have to go anywhere, you just go to the urban transformation center. It also has sports facilities, adequate parking, free Wi-Fi, and you can get all your services done in one go. And so, what are the pointers for the Blue Ocean implementation by Sri Lanka's public sector? So, what can we learn from this Malaysian experience, and how can it help Sri Lanka develop this national Blue Ocean strategy, whereby we get ministries to come up with new public service solutions to public service problems that have high impact at a relatively lower cost. Well, number one, you need to have an implementation machinery. In Malaysia, we had this BOS summit, we can call it a steering committee, and there must be BOS, Blue Ocean strategy units in the various ministries, fostering this culture of coming up with new solutions to all public service problems. Then, of course, you need some initial seed money. You just can't do it out in hand. You need to have some initial financial and human resource funding to get these initiatives going. And of course, then they will then be self-financing by the savings that they create. And then, of course, you need continuous monitoring. We saw how the Prime Minister meets at least 3 times a year all the key ministers and agencies that are involved in this Blue Ocean initiative, asking them what is being done, how many initiatives have been implemented, how many agencies are implementing, what has been the cost savings, why can't we have more, why can't we do this, why can't we do that? And then he prods them, and then they go back and they try to develop more strategies. And of course, you need cooperation, strong support among provincial and federal government. It can't just be SRIDA in the Ministry of Home Affairs or in the Ministry of Plantation. It must be across the board if you want to make substantial savings across the service. And of course, you must have political, bureaucratic, and private sector support. We saw in the case of Putrajaya how the religious council in Putrajaya, for the federal territories, we got federal territory as a province, which comprises Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya, and in the island of Labuan in Sabah. So they came and said, we will fund, because the religious council collects tithes. They call it, what do they call this in Islam? Tithes. They collect tithes, and they said we can use this tithe to create community centers and convert them into a hospital ward, and so that the poor can take zakat, yes, zakat. And of course, there must be collaboration with the private and public sector. There must be a paradigm shift in leadership. I think most important is thinking. We public servants are so grown to thinking that every time government says do something new, they will give us more money and more manpower. No more. Even in Malaysia, the universities, our budget has been slashed 30%. And suddenly we are all now very innovative. We are able to get endowments from the private sector. We tell them, we'll do this, we'll do that for you, give us money, and they're giving us money. But once they're given, I don't know whether they're doing what we said they will do, but that's not important. We got the money in it. So you become, so crisis sometimes cultivates thinking that creates blue ocean solutions. And of course, you need to have political leadership. So moving forward, we are always on the move for affordable, citizen-centric public services. It requires innovations to change the way we do things, to be smarter, better, faster, cheaper, safer, and produce better outcomes. So there has to be, as you said, a paradigm shift. The mindset must change. It's no more asking for more money to do something more, but trying to be inventive and innovative. It needs a culture change, and you need to have a bottom-up as well as a top-down approach to this blue ocean thinking. So, thank you for listening. You can wake up now. And so we have half an hour for question and answer. If you don't have, it's okay, I can always come back to answer questions.
Yes, feel free to ask clarifications or comparison with what you have done. So recently, Sleda from John introduced concept of appreciating best practices and innovations introduced by public servants. So, I mean, there are different public servants, different organizations introduce different new innovations. But our productivity secretariat conduct this competition and select organizations.
So all that
then the Justica, another organization, they evaluate 5 years implementation and then they recognize the best implementation, but not for the individuals. So Sleda thought public sector innovate, to promote the innovation and best practices. So we had that symposium, and several presenters came and then did the presentation, and then we selected low cost innovation, value creation.
So you don't call it as blue ocean solution, but you already have in place the infrastructure and the platform. Only thing is if you can realign the thinking of the public service along high impact, low cost, rapid execution, sustainable, meaning that it is not a flavor of the month, but it can last year on year. And I think then you have a more systematic approach to blue ocean thinking and blue ocean solutions.
Yeah, so that's what I'm coming to now. This we got some Japanese influence. Now this our Ocen Secretary was the Director General Productivity Secretary. one time. And we had a link with this AP and more Japanese exposure. So then we started introducing 5 days, Japanese 5 days. And to promote this innovation, Srila we used to teach, and this Secretariat also helped, and we introduced Srila to various organizations, Japanese concept called Kaizen. Ocen strategies. So what you explain here, basically based on now Blue Ocean concept, more or less similar in a different way. To introduce innovation, they say step by step, little improvement, continuous improvement, innovation with everybody's participation.
So there are
It
many.
is also low cost, new high impact. So we were talking Kaizen. Kaizen. The literal meaning of Kaizen is Kai means change, Zen means better. Kai means change, Zen means better. Right? A good practice of changing for better. Changing for better. So that concept, we introduced, and several public servants had introduced different innovations, and they did actually SIDA contribute a lot to that. So then there was certain organization, especially we got involved with the health sector, as you said, several innovations. Today in our health sector, there are several innovations in public service, public sector. So through Kaizen and 5 years implementation. So not the Blue Ocean strategy.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different term. We also had in the beginning. So I will show you back. Sorry. We also had productivity. We also had productivity improvement way back in 1991.
That's what.
I think TQM is also TQM strategic planning, quality management, and then you have ISO, procedure, getting the procedure right. If you get your procedure right, then your quality will take care of itself. But productivity improvement is more on the cost side. So yes, you become more productive because you can do the same thing, you're more efficient, you have a learning curve effect, your cost gets lower and lower. But it doesn't care much, not that it doesn't care, it doesn't focus on the high impact service delivery. It focuses on bringing down the cost, making you more productive, both machine and labor, but the other side has not been given due prominence. Then of course we have this Kaizen. Kaizen comes in and says, yes, continuous improvement, not just on the cost side, but also on achieving your goals. But again, continuous improvement means it's talking about incremental changes, increase. So increasing incremental changes are not so disruptive. Nobody can really feel the impact. Blue Ocean says, move entirely, reconstruct your boundary. So the hospital in Putrajaya reconstructed its boundary to include community halls as a center for pregnant mothers to give birth. The hospital in Selayang, very close to Kuala Lumpur, reconstructed its hospital boundary to include the building that was supplied by the Federal Territorial Religious Council to do cataract surgery. So it's a bit more fundamental, a bit more disruptive, a bit more bigger than the Kaizen seems to imply. Of course, continuous improvement one day give you the big impact. But this one says the criterion for one of the criteria for Blue Ocean initiative is rapidly implementable. Within 3 months, you must implement something big, fast, that will give you a big result. So yes, it has got all the seeds of productivity improvement and Kaizen, and every business initiative always develops that which has gone on in the past. So they stand on the shoulders of giants gone in the past to develop new things. So yes, sometimes it's just a matter of changing concepts. But the point is, the impact that this kind of initiatives have on the minds of businesses and public sector, that's important. So during Kaizen, yes, everybody was very mindful that they have to continuously improve. During productivity improvements, everybody was conscious that they must be efficient. Now, Blue Ocean Strategy comes, yes, not only must you be productive, not only must you constantly innovate and improve, but you must do it in a very big way, with high impact on service delivery. So it's just continuing the journey of enhancing public service delivery and finding Blue Ocean markets in this space. Yes, I agree with you, Prof. It's all, everybody extends the boundaries of a previous paradigm, and then they come up with a fancy name, Blue Ocean Strategy, and overnight they become billionaires. Whereas like Professor Tilak and I, we have to just peddle our knowledge and be poor as we are today.
Continuously.
So it's continuously improving, but the salary is not increasing.
One of the imperatives you said in implementing Blue Ocean here, Blue Ocean Strategy, is the mindset of public service. Is the mindset of public service, which is imperative to put this into practice. Now, Malaysia, how did you manage to do that? How did you manage to change the mindset of public service?
The mindset still has not changed. The mindset is still the same.
What did you do? Get them to implement.
Yeah, the mindset is, why should I do all this thing? Why should I think of such big things? I don't get anything apart from own personal recognition. But because this was moved by the Prime Minister, so all the ministers had to fall in line. Otherwise, they will not be selected for election next year. So, and the Prime Minister keeps a watch as to which ministry is coming out with which bold ideas, big, fast results. So every minister wants to impress the Prime Minister. So the minister puts the pressure on the secretary, and the secretary has got no choice. Otherwise, he will be sent to SIDA. That's what we do in Malaysia. If the secretary doesn't perform, we send him to SIDA. Our SIDA. And once you go to ITAN, you lose your self-confidence, you lose the esteem of your colleagues. And then you're wasted. You waste away, and then you retire without any standing. You will never get any board position. You will not be a board director. You will not get chairmanship of telecoms or whatever you have. So the secretaries will have to perform, and of course they got the secretary's scorecard, and so they will then apply on the public servants, and of course they do it by trying to motivate them. Because leadership is all about service. You are selling your service to your bosses. And your boss, I'm showing good leadership, I'm able to bring improvements in my organization, in my unit. You are selling your service to your subordinates. The subordinates look at you, and if they like your service, they will become committed to producing more of what they're doing more efficiently because they are bought to your service. And likewise, you are also selling your service to the public. If the Ministry of Health can show that it is innovative, it is creative, and is able to provide new services, then the public will have greater faith and trust on the public service delivery system. So leadership is very important to motivate the larger public service. And then of course we have this contest as I'm telling about. So each ministry takes pride in coming up with blue ocean solutions in the hope of winning the Prime Minister's award. So that also gives them a sense of motivation. But I agree with you, it's very difficult to change a civil servant because the security of tenure that he has makes him inimical to greater genuinity. What can you do? I mean, I'm okay. So why don't you give me promotions? Okay. Why do I want to be a secretary and commit suicide? The minister harassing me and and a lot of problems, front, bottom, back. So let me be peaceful as an additional secretary. That the secretary take the pressure. I'm just additional secretary, I can retire.
The second question, we have a silly one.
Yes, sir.
Now, you call it blue ocean strategy, you have red ocean strategy. And why blue ocean strategy? Why not yellow? Why not brown? Why not green?
Yeah, exactly. This actually, we lifted this out from this, the blue ocean by Tim Chan and René Mabon. Tim Chan and René Mabon, they come from in Seattle, France. They said it is a blue ocean because it is an uncontested market. There's no competition. Whereas the red ocean, the market is defined. Everybody knows this is my industry, this is our market, these are our competitors, and they are fighting tooth and nail. So when they fight, it's ready, it gets ready, bloody red. So that's what I said. Existing market space where there is competition, it's red ocean because there's so much of fighting. You reduce your price by 5 rupees, the other competitor will reduce it by 10. Then you will reduce by 15, then another fellow will reduce it by 20, and soon all will go bankrupt. So there's so much of competition, each trying to nibble at the market share. And the fight figuratively gives you blood in the streets, so they call it ocean. Blue ocean, no competition. You are alone in the market because you have discovered it, you have reconstructed a new market that you only enjoy all the time being, because soon the copycats will come, and then there will be competition, and that blue ocean will become red, and you got to go constantly in search of blue. So the government just took the colors together. Now, of course, we've got blue sky strategy, more ethical strategy. So soon they will have blue earth. The earth is brown. Why not we have blue earth?
Blue skies.
Blue skies. Now they have blue skies. So it's a term that both Kingston and René Mabon coined, and we also took it. Blue ocean meaning that.
Kirita is the advisor to your prime minister.
He's still in advice. He came for the Blue Ocean conference. He gave a speech. Your minister was there. Your minister of public administration.
He came
Again, he was there. I met him in the conference. I met him also in the High Commissioner's place.
He is living in America.
Sorry.
He's living in America. The author?
The author, yeah, he lives in America. But Korean professor. They were only in Seattle, but now I think it's moved place. But he has built up his Blue Ocean franchise. So he has gone to every country to develop a Blue Ocean Institute. And then he offers them training materials, teaches them face to face, and then he sells the franchise to the country. And of course, he makes big money, and then he comes in for consultation and maintenance, like in Malaysia.
Has Korean people applied this Blue Ocean strategy?
I don't think so.
They
I think
do up to some.
the business, yes.
Korean, but living in America.
Yeah. But in the business, yes, the business sense, this strategy is now the current paradigm. Everybody talks about blue ocean. Nobody talks about forces, industry forces, and how you position yourself in the market space. He's still there. But basically, he's taking Potter's ideas and moving on.
Anyway, from Secretary, and a few comment. Not only the green and blue, I suppose, you add other colors in the rainbow to this evening. You bring other colors in the rainbow for this evening.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, and when you address the faculty in the noon, even though you said that you can't, joking, I suppose, you said not much practice and theory goes together, but you did a wonderful graded version here. When you explain about cases, you mentioned how you apply the theories into practice when you bring the cases. So, according to our practice in KL, we like, or we have seen all those things, and actually we love something in KL, especially your practicing, even though you did not mention, I suppose your homestay is also taking bit of Blue Ocean principles. You try to stop urbanization, and you improve the local homestay, And when you convert the palm cultivation and maintain the green environment, so even though you did not mention, you apply all those theories in your own practice. If you can, what we do not like in KL, the traffic. So if you can do something on your traffic jam in KL, based on the this theory, it would be more interesting place to go there and again. And yeah, and so strategically you drag the points we share in the boardroom and you very creatively apply in your presentation. So thank you so much, Professor, and so you can say the team bring that colorful evening, not only the blue and green, with all the other colors in the so wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can I go home now?
Oh.
Blue Ocean Stratergy.
Yeah, good. Yeah. On the
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you very much for introducing this Blue Ocean strategy. I think.
Why don't you introduce yourself first?
Yeah, that is, I am Ranjini, Secretary, Ministry of Hill Country, New Villages, Infrastructure, Community Development. Just I joined in halfway only, so I will introduce myself.
It needs to have contributions to public service delivery. I can do it again.
Sometimes I think they might go early, then if I get this
No,
one.
you hold them here. So these are the key reforms by the Ministry of Health.
Yeah, this I think.
Oh, you can over again.
Yeah.
Right. So now you all can go.
Yes. So I think this is I think the Srinagar has to take the leadership to bring it to the notice of the politicians here, to bring the change in the public service. Because in Sri Lanka now public service, it's mostly that I think people are losing the confidence with the public service now. So we have to bring some paradigm shift here. Otherwise, I think we will be lost in 4 or 5 years time. That is the thing is going on, because if you see that every organization is running on loss. Every ministry is asking for funds and all those things, but the country is facing severe the economic crisis problem. So that we have to bring some strategy like this, bringing the public-private partnership and reduce the cost-effective and all. Otherwise, this should come from the political leadership. I think SLIGA is the good platform here to have the coordination with the politicians and public officials, and they should bring the real change in the public service. Otherwise, really it's very difficult to Sri Lanka face the 2030 challenges or even that is the thing. So we will be lost even in the world. So.
Very well said, Madam Secretary. I agree with you. SRIDA has got the infrastructure, they can do the training, they can bring this issue alive to the other public servants. And this QoS gives you a number of techniques as to how you can create blue ocean. Kaizen and all that, they say yes, continuous improvement, but there's not much of a handle for a civil servant. Okay, how do I do continuous improvement other than on their own steam? Yes, we agree that there must be a paradigm shift. Either first you must force them, then automatically they will volunteer subsequently. But yes, there must be a paradigm shift. There must be political leadership. Secretaries must also take charge. They must push the agenda. There must be a high-level steering committee to give guidance and vision and monitoring and evaluation. There must be incentives for ministries to come forward to these initiatives. So this can be easily done. All it needs is a structure and someone to push, and that person must be none other than President Mr. Prajapal, as he said. And then once he says go, everybody will go the line. And it will be eventually good for the service, good for the government, good for the society. And you go back home happy. And this is what I learned from Professor Thilan. Professor Thilan said that the best way to live a life is to be happy and don't worry. And how do you be happy? How are you happy? You'll only be happy if you make others happy. So if your citizens are unhappy with you, you think you can have a good night's sleep? Yes, you can, but you wake up at 4 o'clock and 3 o'clock because people will be cursing you. So yes, when you make others happy, you will be happy and you will learn and enlighten life. Thank you, Professor, for the good idea.
Actually, now, as she said, SIDA is to take initiative. SIDA is also one of the entities to do that. Having some blue ocean strategy, SIDA initiated a forum for all secretaries to come to SIDA. The concept is learning set. Secretaries to come here and sit together, share experience, share knowledge, think differently, and give innovative idea. And as he said, to get the politicians also, that step also took place with our minister. We invited him, and then you arrange the environment to meet those together, not that official way, to go for innovation. So I thought that way and initiated. Now this trend, we have fixed now, it's a fixed learning set meeting every month, third week, Thursday. Secretaries are coming here, meet together and share their experience, share their knowledge, promote communication, promote teamwork. And the next one they are going to this has a link with this. The challenges faced by the secretaries. So how to address that? So we are not going to teach, they learn each other. And I used to invite past retired secretaries to come and they share their tacit knowledge. This time, one of the good leading secretary at that time, Mr. Tilak Kollure, is coming to share his experience. So along with that, so SIDA are taking initiatives, and then so I want to now continuously get the some intellectual politicians to interact with our secretaries to tell how to develop the country. We will go for blue ocean strategy. So that's the idea is correct. Already SIDA has taken initiative. It's a not easy task. Because earlier secretaries didn't come, because most of the secretaries started the career and got the induction, then the capacity. But once they come to the top level, they are so busy. They don't have much time to study. So that's why we have initiated, and that's why we are conducting every month this type of seminars for people to interact. But unfortunately, the participation is not that much. So please, I'm happy that a few secretaries came today.
Once they see the utility of these forums and this knowledge sharing, then the critical mass will develop.
Yes.
And I think it's good. We can always learn from another person. That's true.
But she and the secretary, they used to come. She used to participate in all learning sessions. So, good, thank you.
In Sri Lanka, that we have the good system after introducing productivity and all. The officers and they have, I think, have all the system. But the problem is red tapeism, bureaucratism, mindset of the people. That is the thing that we couldn't get changed. That's it. When you introducing the system, it's a good thing. But after that, only that it will go for some time. But after that, people will forget about it.
But the administrative structure is so
bureaucratic and patriotism, only one person can decide anything that
But that's why we have in Malaysia this business facilitation committee. They meet every month. It is co-chaired by the private sector and the public sector. And they insist on ministries producing a report to show what bureaucratic red tape that they have cut the previous month. So their whole business is to eliminate bureaucracy to the very backbone, because you need rules and regulations because we are custodians of public money and it has to be done in the proper way. But we don't need unnecessary layers of bureaucracy. And this business facilitation committee looks into it.
So this time we have introduced this zero-based management. So that we are going for the results-based management. So that will be, I think, bring some results. But still, that we can't see that in the budget and all. for the unnecessary things only that they are spending more money than the capital or development work. So that we have to curtail some activities and to be very strict with only dealing with the development activity, then only we can
Exactly. Exactly. So the results-based budgeting is all good, but what incentive is there for a secretary to do results-based budgeting? In Malaysia, we have what is known as program agreements. So the secretary will sign with the Secretary of Finance that for this budget allocation that has been appropriated by Parliament, this is what I will do, outputs and outcomes. But what is the incentive for the secretary? Number one, the Ministry of Finance has given flexibilities to the secretary. He can move money across his programs and projects, except not touching the emoluments allocation. All other allocations can be moved around the programs and projects. So that gives some incentive and some leeway for a secretary to commit some results, because now whereas previously, if you had wanted to buy a cattle, you have to write to the treasury to ask for permission, can we buy this cattle for 300 rupees? And never ask permission from the Ministry of Finance. The first answer would be no. But now, do whatever you like, but don't touch the emoluments budget. So with that incentive, the secretaries have got some breathing space to produce results. And of course, secretaries are evaluated every 2 years by the Malaysian Administrative Modernization and Management Planning Unit. Every 2 years, their management is evaluated on a criteria, 52 criteria, and they are given a 5-star rating to 1-star rating. 5-star meaning excellent. So everybody knows which ministry got 5-star and which ministry got 1-star. So the secretary who got a 1-star will most probably commit suicide, and the secretary with 5 stars will want to maintain his position. So he is evaluated with star rating. Then Auditor General comes in, also evaluating the secretary with a star rating. 4-star meaning excellent financial management, 1-star deplorable financial management. So this adds pressure, transparency, accountability upon secretaries. But what do they have? What do they get in return? Nothing much. So better not to be a secretary. Additional secretary is better.
Thank you so much, Professor. So that's a small note for the winding up the session. Thank you so much for the very, very humble behavior with us, Professor, today. And you encourage, motivate us a lot. We have seen that you did lots and lots of homework. You organize all those things. So it's a very, very good experience for our new SLS cadets also, how we take a good approach. So thank you so much.
Because Professor Tilak said he would show me Colombo.
And you told that you want to go home, but see that's your home.
That's why you spend.
Yes. So the whole Colombo and whole Sri Lanka is leader for you. That's our professor's strategy. So thank you so much, Professor. So be a good leader, and you use your personal contacts to welcome the giants in the blue oceans to Srida, and make this opportunity to our friends to learn a lot. So thank you so much to professors and the Srida team, our IT department and the Srida faculty and our secretary and all participants. You still here, that means you are motivating us to do more and more this sort of innovative things. Because of your participation, it made the day. So thank you so much for your participation also. And we are going to having this sort of 2 more events recently. According to our Director General's advice, we are going to take this sort of opportunity to introduce the Right to Information Act discussion based on the Right to Information Act, and another discussion
The role of the
Yeah.
public servants in the budget proposals.
Yeah, so recently we are having new budget system. So everybody is willing to know how the tax and all those things make the budget. So soon they did the first speak in the budget. The SLEDA organized that sort of event also. So as you mentioned, we are leading the current issues and we convert current issues into the dialogue in this venue. So with this small note, we wish you good luck in your practice. So try blue ocean, not red ocean. So it's high time to say big thank you to you, Professor. So I invite our leader, Professor Tilakasiri, to offer a small souvenir from Sri Lanka, your home, Sri Lanka. So it's please accept this. Thank you so much.
And my dean of the Graduate School of Business has asked me to present this to your professor, Tilakasiri, the Director General of SLEDA, as a token of our appreciation for giving us this opportunity to share our knowledge with you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hope to see you.
You want to save this in your Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. Best of luck for your work. It's a very high pressure job, you know.
Yeah, pressure is
Not easy.
Not easy, not easy. Yeah, on one hand, it's a recognition. On the other hand, we can't eat recognition. Ministers are taking on the interpretation.
Yes, yes.